Getting so much better.
How am I going to do this? Oh my gosh, this isn't working. Didn't reach that goal. That didn't happen. Oh my God. Oh, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just reading my goal book. And what I'm doing is I'm berating myself and saying I didn't do it. I didn't achieve it. You see, July is my new beginning. According to sacred geometry, it's my new beginning. And quite often we can look at our goals and go, oh, I didn't make it. I didn't do it properly. I didn't reach that goal. It didn't happen, whatever it is. We can go into the 3D paradigm and blame. Oh, it's because of, it's by my husband. It's because of my husband. It's because there was a retrograde. It's because the stars did, and planets didn't align for me. So what am I talking about? How can I do it better? Asking myself, how can I do it better? Now, a lot of you know that the new paradigm is always about the why, because that drops you back into your heart of why do I want that? Why do I want one of those goals? Why? Then, if it's not working, I ask myself, how can I do better? How can I do better? Because I need to drop back into the why still. What's the goal? Why do I want it? And then when I ask, how can I do better? Our brain will naturally find a solution. It may not be immediate, but it definitely will be there at some stage. So, for example, and I'm going to use an everyday example that seems to be the most popular disease in the world is weight loss. And I use that because it just seems to be never ending of weight loss. And then the latest product and the latest fad and the latest thing. And so let's say I had a goal of losing 20 kilos in a week. I'm not a high achiever. Oh, but let's say it was. And I only lost 300 grams or something like that. I could have it in my goal book and get really angry. Oh my God, I only lost 300 grams. But I allow myself to go back into the why. Why do I want to lose the weight? Oh, because I want to wear the blue dress with the yellow stripes. The why. And I want to wear it at the next disco night. Why? Because I love wearing that dress. And when I dance like the nut bush, oh my God, it makes me feel so good. Why? Because I love exercise. And when we keep going to that point, we're really dropping into the reason and the awareness for ourselves. Even though I teach in Module 5 of Medical Intuition, no reasons, excuses, explanations, it's justifications, there needs to be a why component and reasons so that I will do anything. Because the brain, the right brain says, sure, I've got this idea. The left brain is your critic that says, yeah, why? What for? What for? Why do you want that? It's almost like being our own parent to ourselves. And so once I've got the reasons that I'm going to a disco and I want to dance a nut bush in this yellow, well, I forgot what the color dress was, I can take a moment and then it's like, okay, ask myself, how can I do better? And when I reflect, well, I did eat that 10-kilo bag of popcorn last night at midnight before I went to bed. And I did have 2 pies and some Coca-Cola for breakfast. And we start to understand why I didn't do so well and how I can do it better. And instead of eating those things, it can be, well, okay, I'm just going to tweak what I eat. So you might cut out Coca-Cola. I might not eat 2 pies for breakfast. And so by doing that, you're working left and right brain. This is Atlantis awareness, working right brain and left brain synchronized together. So we find our own solutions. So how can I do better? I want you, excuse me, all to think of something that's happening in your life at the moment where you just think, not quite getting it. And then how can I do better? Could be eating regime, which is for me called a diet. Diet for me is not losing weight. Could be eating regime, exercise, setting boundaries, excuse me, getting the goal. Excuse me. Pardon me. Let's go back. How can I do better? Let's have some sharing while I have a cough. What's coming up for you guys right now? Who would like to share? I'd love you to share. Gives me a chance.
I can share, Jean. At the moment, I've been thinking a lot of transitioning into a new work for changing my career because I'm not happy in my teaching anymore, but I need to set goals how to get there. And yeah, that's a big new challenge for me, but I need to make positive new changes in my life.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Rachel's right on track. Because July is the time to reflect. I'm not happy with that. I don't want, and July is transformation time. So as she shares that and is aware of it, excuse me, as she's aware of it, what she can do is then go, what's the why of leaving? And how can I get another income, something that satisfies me, something that makes me feel good? So beautiful. Someone else, while I still have a coughing fit.
Yes, me, Jean, Julie. You can hear me clearly? Cool. So I'm making absolutely massive strides in change in my life, having success like I've never seen. There's one not so small area that's a stumbling block for me, and it's a tech one. And if I could clear that, it would make everything else so much easier. But I'm putting all my attention into all of the other things instead of taking that one plug out that would open the flow to everything else.
So I'm just going to ask Julie, when you're saying massive changes in everything,
Yes.
for all of you, not just Julie, for all of you watching the live or the recording, sometimes we don't take credit for how well we've done. And it could be one small thing that annoys us or feels like we're not getting our goal, whatever. And then suddenly we say we need to change everything in our life, which then pushes away and repels how well we are doing. Because in this process of how can I do better, the brain will then shut down and go, well, you didn't do anything well. Everything's wrong. And by going, how can I do it better? The brain, the left brain actually searches for how well you did do X, Y, Z as well. So just be aware, beautiful souls, to give yourself credit for what you have done and that there's a tweak, whatever the tweak is at this moment. And how can I do better in that tiny place there? Because one thing we don't do is give ourselves a lot of credit. Do not go, oh, well, I did do well there. We tend to, in 3D paradigm, just focus on this one thing and make it really the focus and go, that's it, everything else is really bad. This one thing, compared to everything that you've done amazingly, is so minute and microscopic. So, Julie, I'm glad that you brought that up. So thank you so much. Anyone else want to share now that the coughing's finished? Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, just a follow-up on that. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, completely appreciating everything that I'm achieving. And that is actually opening the flow more.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So how can I do better? Here's my learning lesson. You might be able to see smoke coming across. How can I do better when I'm doing Zoom teaching? I don't have the incense on. Because it triggers me to cough. Normally I've got my door open here. How can I do better so I'm not having a coughing fit? Don't have that on. That's as simple, like the tiny things mean a big thing. It means that I would have a better result. How can I do better? Be aware with how can I do better is never about I'm not good enough. As I swish the smoke away, I'm not good enough ever, 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 ever. And sometimes in the thymus chakra and the thymus gland, we can take things personally when someone, whether it's a boss or a teacher or a lecturer or a personal trainer or whoever, or a husband, partner, whoever says, no, you could do better as such, we can take it personally here. And that's only because they might see the pure potential in you. I remember as a kid that one of my teachers told me that I could do better. Oh my God, I so took it personally and thought it was I was only little, but took it as an attack. And she was telling me I could read better. Now, at that stage, I was not diagnosed as dyslexic, and it wasn't until I was an adult and I needed to use my finger to read across the page, let alone English was my third language. I really didn't understand what I was reading. I'd get in trouble for using my finger and all the words and everything were jumbling. How could I do better? So just be aware of our paradigm where something might come up and you go to do it better and the brain goes, oh, remember then when you tried to do it better? But take it personally here and then criticize yourself in the pituitary gland. Ask yourself how you can do better is actually an evolutionary process, which according to the millennium calendar, every season we evolve, just like the butterfly. At the moment, we're a fat caterpillar in a chrysalis for the southern hemisphere, so that August, we come out as a butterfly in the chrysalis. In September, birth ourselves to go out. Then we live ourselves, then we do what we've got to do, and then we die and we start again. So doing it better is actually allowing yourself to say, how can I evolve to the next level? So let's go back to the weight loss thing. As I mentioned before, in that, how can I do it better? It might be I've got a weight program or something, and I read and I go, oh, they actually said don't eat after 9 o'clock at night. I could do better on that. Oh, they said I could drink 2 to 3 liters of water. I could do better. I only had 600 mils yesterday. How could I do better? All those things, if you look at these, they're always tweaking scientifically how they can do better, from technique, from their eating, from breathing, from sleeping, from reading, all sorts of things. So in that doing better, it actually helps the solar plexus. If you notice, I'm bringing medical intuition so that you're having a healing process as well. It helps the solar plexus for that self-empowerment, so that you can recognize, back to solar plexus again, to recognize, well, okay, I did that, but I know I can tweak it. Ultimately, we want to be in the heart, which is about happiness and joy. And what brings us happiness and joy? Now go back to that silly story of the blue dress with the yellow spots, or whatever it was, dancing at the disco, dancing at the nut bush brings me joy. We always, the whole brain just goes chemically, find the joy, find the joy, find the joy. And sometimes the joy is like sabotaging ourselves. So in doing better, it's just going, okay, what was going on? Now, the whole idea of Sunday as a day off wasn't just religion. It was a day to just take rest, rejuvenate, reflect, and then back out there for the 6-day working week. And some people would go to church to reflect and review and have the teachings and community and whatever. But you can do that any day. And in fact, I do it every morning when I do my journals, which are right here, ready for me to do, because I'm not doing them till after this morning. And I do it in bed. What could I have done better today? Is it answering a phone call? Is it answering an email? Is it taking more time off? Is it drinking more water, more steps, whatever it is? How could I do better? And that just allows me to know that, okay, am I being the optimal thing, situation, circumstance, experience for me? It's not about striving. Yes, I'm a high achiever. It's not about that. How can I do better? Aligns with being of service, which is so important. Anyone doing the happy money module aligns with, okay, I'm here of service. How can I do it better? So while I have my July month off, and even though I'm still delivering this, it's like, how can I do better for the winter time? Because a lot of people drop off with the masterclasses. I know it's cold, it's early in the morning and they don't want to. So I'm trialing something out. Keep the masterclasses going in winter. How can I do better in servicing everyone? Is it that they need something in winter as well? Is it maybe I record things for 4 weeks of July and I say end of June, guys, I've done your masterclasses, I've recorded them because I need time off. How can I do better? How am I going to go with I'm doing these live in my time off? And in my time off, retreat, people think I'm on holidays, but I'm not. I'm retreating to look, how can I do better in my year gone? I don't do it in January because that's not the time to do it. That's hub fast. That is Northern Hemisphere. Southern Hemisphere, it's very much about, okay, where am I up to? How can I eat better? How can I sleep better? How can I educate myself better? How can I organize myself better? How can I make things more simple better? So it's a perfect time to review, can I do it better, whatever the it is? And in my goal book here, I've got like little tabs and things. Health, study, holiday, wants, home, and money. And I review them every day of how can I do it better? In things like the health, well, how can I do that better? Do I want to go back to a gym? Do I want a personal trainer? I've actually found someone that does exercise at the park, along the river. I like the outdoors. Fantastic. Let's go try that out. What can I do better? Things like study. How can I do better? Well, what would I like to study now? Because I like to keep my brain active. And it might be study, I don't know, for something, because I'm not sure I'm in July. I'm not sure what I want to study yet. But I've studied marketing for the business. I've studied technology. I've studied how to get the courses accredited online because they're offline and accredited. Things like holiday, how can I study? Well, I am. At the moment, I'm studying about hiking boots because I want a set of hiking boots. I've never had them before. I'm doing something next year that involves hiking. And it's like, I'm watching YouTubers saying what they like. I'm reading about it. I'm going to go to Anaconda next weekend, go and have a look. I went online, had a look. That's a form of study. Things like what I want. Well, if we don't study what we want and how can I do better in what I want, you won't know what you want. So I've got to know what I want. So, for example, one is, and a beautiful person's online today, wear graduation hat and gown with somebody. How can I do it better? And she's giving a big smile right now. And I went, I didn't achieve that goal. In the home, how can I do it better? It might be ask the client, oh, listen, can you do? And I have. So I've got 2 desks in here. One for a PA that I used to have in the office. Now they're all online. And I was just cleaning out a few things and I went, oh, do you know what? How can I do it better? I noticed down there's a beautiful big spider that's died. Poor darling. Thank you for dying in my room with the crystals and things. How can I do it better? I need to teach her, go to that desk and vacuum underneath as well. She always does under my desk. That way. But she just assumed nobody was there, so it wasn't dirty. How can I do it better? That's a home. Money. How can I do it better? Am I a master of my own wealth? am I looking towards the goals of what I want to do? Where can I save money? Where can I be abundant with money, personally and professionally? So I'm always looking at, in July, how can I do it, whatever it is, better? You can do this for the week as well, because this is the week's practice. Now, what's it got to do with mystery school? Part of mystery school is understanding that we're evolving all the time, all the time. And it's not saying, taking it personally, it's not saying you're not good enough. It's saying, okay, but reach your potential, reach your potential, reach your potential. And that's what schools are about, is take that person, nurture them to uplift, 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 uplift. And sometimes situations in schools, whatever school system, not just children and universities and things like that, sometimes there's a loss of focus, either for the student or the teacher, or even whoever is at the top. It's like, oh, yeah. Which then relates to, why am I doing this? Why? So how? Ask yourself, how can you do better? When things aren't working out, how can you do better? When's a great time to do this? When you're in the shower, driving the car, sitting in the morning with a cup of tea, sitting in the evening watching the fireplace, because you're in that still moment. It's not at the moment of, oh my God, I didn't get the results. How can I do better? Because you will be in a state of fear, not love. When you're showering and washing your hair and you're doing something really unconscious, or you're in the car, I'm in the car listening to doof music. Yeah, oh my God, look at the weather. Oh, it's all the house will go plop, plop, plop. Or when I'm walking, plop, 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 plop. And it was yesterday as I was walking big steps and a bit of a trek that I went, oh, how could I do this better for the thing that I'm doing next year? Hiking boots. I watch YouTube and I got the solutions of what to do. So how can you do better? Let's go around and just ask everyone, what was your golden heart from today? And thank you, everybody, for understanding I had a little bit of a coughing fit. How can I do this better? Don't burn incense while I'm teaching online. Don't have the door closed. See, solution done. So let's go to Lou, Leona, and Rach. Oh, what was your golden heart from today? You popped it in the chat, did you, darling? Let's have a look. Sure. Let's go to Leona while Lou's popping it in the chat.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, how can I do it better? For me this morning was I forgot to set out my walking clothes in the morning, and it was like, oh well, let's do a trial of mixing things up and see if it works better for winter. Do the teleconference first and then do the walk.
Awesome.
It might not. I don't know.
Beautiful. Well done. Right.
Yeah, morning, Jean and everyone. Thank you for this morning. It's okay to ask myself, how can I do it better? It's a positive thing, and to connect daily with my magic book.
Yep, definitely. And know that asking ourselves is self-empowering. And then if we don't find a solution, we can sort of ask other people as well. And sometimes, as I said, the brain can go back to when you were younger, or a relationship or whatever, where someone asked how, and told you how you could do it better, and they were being very kind, but it came across as oops. So beautiful. Let's go to Andrew, Kim, and Julie, and then thank you so much to Lou and Bonnie. I'll read those out in a moment.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, for me, it was when I asked myself, how can I do it better? I am solution focused, and the solutions come. So it's rather than sometimes I could get caught up in a loop about what was, and then this will, I think, will help me get out of the loop.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. And I don't think, Andrew, you're the only one with the loop. So thank you, darling. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. So mine was, do I take credit for what I do or have done? And that's
Yeah.
my learning from it. So how can I do better with that?
Beautiful, beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you, darling. Let's go to Julie.
Yes, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Jean. I am a fat caterpillar in my cocoon.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Amazing,
you.
amazing. Pleasure, pleasure. Let's go to Lou. Golden Heart is realizing I remove myself to my rest space in my house and I feel alone a lot, doing better by joining the others in communal space. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Bonnie's got good morning. My golden heart for today brings me back to my why and taking time to reflect and review. Yes, how things have been to what I can do better. Absolutely. So asking ourselves how I can do better. Mystery School, the mystery was uplifting and empowering of what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? But it's not without fulfillment. It's not about high striving. It's like, okay, so that did well. So I'll go back to the weight loss programs. You check yourself on the scales every week to get results, to look at them, and here's the scales, and it says only 300 grams. I think that's what 300 grams instead of the 20 kilos. So that gives me a result to say, this is what's occurred. Go back to my goal of why. Okay, got the dress, got the disco nut bush. Now, how can I do better? Now, whether it was with a business coach, with a personal trainer, at work, KPIs, whatever it is that you're doing in business or at home or working for someone, all of these things are an opportunity for us to go, okay, what can I do that makes me feel empowered, makes me feel really good? So back to the scales. Thank you, scales, for the results, because results actually show where I'm up to and how I'm going. Now, in business, we call it test and measure. And so without testing things and measuring success, and it's not just success as in I'm success, it's like how that went. I can't see how well I'm doing. And I'm going to give you an example. Years and years ago, I went through a bit of a doubt thing of how much I was contributing to the family financially. And because I work from home, excuse me, I can claim a lot of things. And I was buying a lot of things in the home as well, and claiming it through the tax. And I was really in this wobbly place as I entered July. This was 2021, in the tax year. And I went, oh, I'm contributing much. So I decided to test and measure. And I wrote down everything I spent in the business towards the house. And then I had another list of everything I spent towards the house, whether it was bills or whatever else. At the end of the financial year of 2021, 2022, when I went into July, I looked at the list and went, I'm doing bloody awesome, actually. And so that's why, like in weight loss, it's really, or anything you do or journaling, looking at what you're doing and recording it. So for example, one of my journals here is a page, and I have my sacred geometry card, my medical intuitive card, because I pull one every day, and I have my learnings for the day, because that's my test and measure. My learnings for the day allow me to see, okay, someone offered to buy me coffee. My learning is to say yes, please. I don't drink coffee, by the way, but making it up. My learning is to say yes. Today I got the hand chakra, which is about receive. So There's always just a tweak for me to be able to blossom and feel so empowered, and asking myself, how can I do better is one way to do it. So thank you so much, Super Souls, for being on the masterclass. I will see you 6 o'clock next week. Let me just check. Yes, I will see you 6 o'clock next week. And have the bestest week practicing. It's myself. Can I do better? So thank you. Have the best week. Bye.